Hej och välkomna till veckans podcast. Det här blir ett väldigt intressant avsnitt. Superintressant. Vi är ju mitt inne i en slags Eldon Ring-vecka. En yra, ja. Jag spelade spelet några timmar igår och det är insane. Ja. Det är hela mitt hjärta bara... Ja. Så därför kommer vi att bygga lite på det här temat med Eldon Ring. Och idag har vi en gäst som heter Ashewyn. Som är en...
Twitch.
En world famous Twitch streamer.
Ja, world famous, men ja.
Hon är engelsktalande.
Ja.
Och
jag bor i Sverige.
Precis.
Ja.
Därför kommer vi att göra den här podcasten idag på engelska. Och tyvärr så kommer vi inte hinna texta den här.
Nej.
För att det är alldeles för kort tid vi har. Tidsspannet, från det vi spelar in tills den kommer ut.
Ja.
Så att hoppas ni ändå har överseende med det här. Att titta på någonting som är engelsktalande från oss.
Håll till godo.
Håll till godo. We're going to start recording now because this is cool just talking like this. It's great having you here. We're huge fans.
Yeah.
We Thomas was looking at your stuff all day yesterday.
Yeah.
I always get flattered when people say they look at my stuff because I just don't know how to feel about myself.
Yeah,
when
it's
people are
pretty
going
much
through
the
my
same.
Content.
Yeah, it's the same for us. We were just is someone else looking at us?
Yeah.
It's weird.
You're a bit bigger than us,
Yeah.
but we're getting there eventually.
Yeah.
No, I think what you're doing is fantastic. I've been wanting to start a podcast / like mini series forever. So to be able to see you kind of fill out that dream since like you said May last year or April when you started it, I don't know, that just blows my mind. I'm just happy to be here. I'm honored, and thank you so much, by the way, for holding this in English because it's more comfortable for me to be speaking in English.
Yeah,
of course.
We're a bit rusty, but yeah, I think we will hold our own.
Yeah. Just start a podcast because it's not that difficult.
No.
I think the thing for us is that we can do this full time.
Shit.
Det finns papper där i lådan.
I'll just grab some paper. Sorry.
She spilled coffee in the excitement.
I get that all the time. I have to spill-proof my desk because it's going to happen one or another.
All the computing
we'll keep this in.
Yeah. This is going into the edit, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. We'll start with this. Do you do this full time?
Yeah, I do. I've been streaming full time for a little while now. I started off full time and then I started working and then COVID happened and then my job stability went out the window and then I just kind of came back into this full time but with like a renewed attitude about it. And I've been doing it full time for like 2 years now.
Is it enough to, is there a livelihood there that you can live on?
So I was kind of forced to go into full time because there was like this passion of mine that I knew I was going to make it work. And I had like the support of like a very nice mother who was like willing to put me up during all of this. At the beginning, I was playing some incredible Runt while I was streaming full time. And I was like bleeding and having money. And I was like, well, this is not going to work. I'm going to have to re-examine my strategy about this. And my mom offered me a place at hers. So I was like, okay, let's just kind of reconvene, try to make this full-time thing work. And I was applying for jobs anyways, but I was like so keen on doing full-time streaming because I love it so much and content creation. So yeah, now I would say I'm afloat. Back then, maybe not so much, but you know, sometimes you have to make risky decisions if you believe in something that you want to do.
Yeah.
But it's like I always say, now I sound like some smart, old Chinese dude. But I mean, if you want to, people say that I want to work in the games industry or I want to do this, I want to do that. But the only thing that will take you there is hard work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've been working hard for it. So, I mean, I guess people can come up to you and say, how do I become like you? How do I get 12,300 followers? Work for it.
Yeah.
Do it every day. Even if you're not on camera, you're doing stuff behind the scenes that's not... People don't see it.
Yeah, people don't seem to understand it. I always get this like one person that comes along, like, you know, every now and then that's like, wow, you're so lucky. You play games for a living, you know, so it must be so easy for you to just like go live and play games all day. How hard your life is, boo-hoo, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not all that happens behind
No.
People seem to be like kind of jealous because they don't understand it, and so they think it's just like people having fun all the time. And while there is a fun aspect to it, there's a lot of hard work behind it as well.
Yeah.
You think that way until you have to test that really crappy game that you don't want to play, but you have to play it, and you have to be, what do you say, subjective to it?
Yeah, like an analysis.
Yeah, and you have to say, it's not for me, but it's for you or for that person.
Yeah, I suspect that you don't do that as much as we do.
Right, because I'm not a critic and I don't review things. So
Yeah.
like I don't need to necessarily like kind of keep up an image or whatever. I don't have like those kind of obligations. Generally when I do sponsored content, like if a company comes and say, hey, can you play our game? Most of the time it's something that I want to do, but also they give me the freedom to say like, hey, you know, I don't really like it. It's not really my type of game, but I'm not sitting there and like completely like tearing it down, you know?
No.
But it's, at the end of the day, I play what I want to play, which is the nice freedom that I have. And there have been instances where I played something, I'm like, yeah, it's not really me, or maybe I'm just not playing it at the right time. You know, you pick up a game one day and it's like not for you. You pick it up 3 years later and you're like, this is the best game ever.
Yeah.
We have the luxury that of being two, so we complement each other pretty great. I'm more like a big time adventure, big role playing AAA
blockbuster,
and he's like more arcadey or Switch games, more mini indie stuff.
I love quirky titles and stuff. I'm a crappy gamer, but I'm more into, Thomas is more into like Valhalla and Assassin's Creed and Mass Effect and those kind of titles, and I'm more geared to maybe Blasphemous or Dead Cells and kind of
roguelikes and indie games.
More like, I think it's because I have 2 kids, and when they were smaller, now they're grown up. But then you maybe had like 2 hours a week to play, so you had to play games that's not 300 hours.
Yeah.
So I think it kind of you know, that sort of idea sort of planted itself in me.
Yeah.
Now I'm playing Elden.
Yeah.
And now the game demands more from me. So now I have to actually care and go into it.
Yeah.
But we're going to go into Elden more in a bit.
Yeah. I just want to say that you have the two of you had a unifying factor. Both of you loved, or I think you liked Oli World, right?
Yes.
Brilliant.
Yeah, that was a really cool game. Like, I felt like I was 14 again, and I was like in my skateboarding days, and just like the colors of the world reminded me of that time as well, where I was like so into like the kind of skateboard I had and the setup, and I was so immersed in it. I don't know, just like being thrown into that again, it was so spectacular. I loved it. The game is so colorful. It's so beautiful.
The music is absolutely brilliant. That kind of lo-fi, funky music. Yeah. The art, like Adventure Time-ish sort of, it's just amazing.
Yeah.
It works for you because it's like one of those things where you can pull up a level, play for a little bit, and put it down when you need to like do your responsibilities. But I have to ask both of you then, if you're like on the opposite end of like games, what are your favorite games? Like
at the moment, or all-time favorite?
Yeah, like
okay,
there's
I'll
like
take
exploration, RPG kind of games.
At the moment, it's probably Lost Ark.
Ooh, okay.
And my all-time favorite is possibly
Mass Effect
or Final Fantasy 14.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's okay. Mass Effect is fantastic. It's one of my favorite RPGs of all time.
This is such a difficult question.
Yeah,
I know it is. I would say the same thing about myself.
Yeah. The games I played a lot. We could go back to Final Fantasy 7 or something, but I have to think about lately, and I have to say Animal Crossing and Pokemon. And I have to say Sword and Shield because it's like hundreds of hours. Same with Animal Crossing. But I mean, we have Destiny 2. Like there's games I tend to come back to, and I don't count hours. But
Stardew Valley is that game for me.
I love that game because you can just. I love the slow gaming type of games, Zen gaming, where you just sit down and you just let the game take over, like harvesting crops or whatever. It just, you don't think. It's just
a gameplay loop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
You have commonalities more than you think. You both kind of like the immersive kind of gaming. So even if you're escaping for like 5 hours or like 30 minutes, you're still escaping.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. We have more in common than differences, of course.
Me and Thomas were about the same age, around 70 years old or something. Now we've been playing for almost 40 years each. And our culture and everything crosses over for about 60-70%.
Yeah,
I would say we can both appreciate the old games. We can both appreciate. I can appreciate Valhalla because
or like those types of games. Yes.
Yeah, we cross over in so much, and we also balance each other so good.
Yeah.
So this is actually the best job you can ever have, to sit down with a good buddy and just talk games all day.
Yeah. It's a lot of work, but
it is.
Yeah.
You know how much work it is.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, you gotta do a lot of research, know what you want to do next, stay on top of it. There's a lot of prep time that goes into it.
You have to update your channels like Instagram, etc., LinkedIn. You have to work on
markets.
Yes, business contacts, especially for you, since you're your own. You're a freelancer.
Yep, I do everything myself.
Yeah, I can say to Thomas, "Can you help me with this?" And he can say to me, "Can you help me with this?" And we have a whole company here.
Yeah.
So I mean, I really admire the work you put in there.
Oh, thank you.
It's impressive to see what you do.
And I have to say, I love your cat.
Oh, Gnocchi, she's the best. She's not around right now, otherwise I would have shown her off.
Yeah.
But she steals my heart as well. I stay away from her for like 3 days if I had to travel. I come back and I'm like, oh my God. It's like
I'm a
falling
crazy
in love
cat
again.
guy. Yeah. It's weird.
Is it Katarina?
No.
Katarina is my white cat, and Gnocchi is the cat that you've probably seen a lot of pictures of. She's very fluffy, like a little cloud.
Oh.
Is that a ragdoll or is it no?
It's a ragdoll.
Oh, it's a ragdoll.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh. You would never believe it, but I have my computer over there, and Thomas has his computer here, and sometimes we hear each other's computers go meow, or music from the dodo or something, and we pull up this dog or cat clip just to feel good.
Yeah.
So we're insane animal lovers here.
Yeah.
No, I know that feeling. Sometimes you're just feeling bad and you just pull up these like videos of like cats and dogs, and they just make you feel better.
Yeah. One tip for you is check out Caribou's latest video.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's called "You Can Do It."
Okay.
What is it? Have I seen that?
No, I don't think so. Right. It's 100% dogs.
Okay.
Aww.
That's the tip for the day.
Okay.
Let's talk about you.
Yes.
You played all the Souls games. You've speedrun Dark Souls and Demon Souls.
Yes.
That's kind of a feat.
Yeah.
You're a staff and PR for the speedrun community called SpeedSouls. You've organized speedrun charity marathons and hosted events like ESAmarathon and GDQ. And you've got over 12,000 followers on Twitch.
Yeah.
I mean, this feature list, it's not bad.
No.
I sometimes don't believe it myself, like the number of things I've done, the things that I'm going to do as well. It's just, it blows my mind. It feels surreal. It doesn't feel like it's my life. I feel like I'm in someone else's body, just watching them live their life,
I've got 2 questions. I got many questions, but we want to know where it all started. But what's the deal with the Souls games? Why did you start with the games?
Because none of us are like,
We've never played the games.
No, we haven't, but we're very, very familiar with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we have friends and, that
my son plays them.
Yeah, and my friends you have to play them, and I'm just, yeah. Have so many games.
It's a bit like saying if you want to start with a sport, to go for, becoming a top athlete, let's start with the most difficult sport in the world instead of playing, frisbee or something that you can start with right away.
It's notoriously one of those very hard games of video games. It's not the hardest, but it's notoriously everyone kind of struggles with them, so people just know it has its own precedence of difficulty. But honestly, the Souls game are not for everyone, but I think they have mass appeal overall, and you could be very different kinds of gamers when you approach these games. What got me into them is a lot like how Thomas is with worlds and whatnot, and kind of wanting to dive into them, just really immerse yourself into them. One of my favorite games of all time is Dragon Age Origins, or even Mass Effect games, or Red Dead Redemption 2. Fantastic game.
Yeah.
It feels like it draws you into the world. I believe at that time that I came across the Souls games, I had a Tumblr account. I had been on Tumblr for many years. And I think I was seeing a wave of Bloodborne, just scenery pictures, and it looked whoa, this world looks so cool. I'm sure you've seen a lot of the stills. Yeah. And just the kind of environments and the characters, and I saw people make their own hunters and customization, and I was like, wow, that looks really cool. So when I got my first PS4, I bought Bloodborne and I gave it a go. It was one of the first few games I streamed on my Twitch channel.
And it was hell.
It kicked my butt.
Yeah.
It absolutely destroyed me. But the world was so fascinating. It just felt like you guys sucked into this dark, decrepit world, and you're like, what is going on here? And it's kind of it hooked you with that at least. And I personally like challenges with my games, not all the time, but at that time I really liked it. And so the challenge of trying to get good at this game was very appealing to me. So even though it was kicking my butt and I was dying a lot left, right, and center, it was great. I don't know. And then I had people who through my Twitch streams were just avid fans of the Souls games. And they're like, well, if you like Bloodborne, you should play blah, 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 and blah, all the other Souls games. And they kind of just convinced me to go on this path. And while I didn't play them after each other, because I think you can burn out and get fatigue of the Souls games if you just kind of, even though you might feel the appeal to want to play them all, over time, I just played them and I enjoy them all very much. Yeah. I have this sense of satisfaction when I complete a Souls game that's not many games give me in terms of challenge.
What game, what game have you put most time into out of the Souls games?
It has to be probably Dark Souls 1 because I speedrun that game. I put many hours practicing it and attempting runs. So I would say probably Dark Souls 1 and then Demon Souls, both the original and the remake. But Bloodborne is the one I always want to go back to. I don't know why. It's I always want to go back to Bloodborne. It was my first experience, but I don't go back to it as often as I would like.
Yeah.
Maybe you feel a bit like home there because it was the first, and it's just something that's.
Well, I've heard that from many others that Bloodborne is not the Holy Grail, but there's something about that game that
the kind of Holy Grail.
Yeah, the kinda.
Yeah.
But it's not considered the best, is it? No.
It's up to everyone. There's on Twitter this trend now where everyone's ranking their Souls games based on what they think is best and worst. And honestly,
what is the most common? Is it Dark Souls 2?
Dark Souls 2 is most commonly the worst in a lot of people's minds. Though some people rip on Dark Souls 1 because it's when you play Dark Souls 3 and Bloodborne, and since you've never played them, they play a little bit faster. They're just a little bit more optimized, kind of combat, a little different, while the older ones, people would describe them as clunky. I don't see it as that. I see it as you need to be more careful and thoughtful of your actions. You can't just roll around, just in a panic. You have to have a strategy to go about it. And so the older games just play slower, more strategic. The newer ones are more fast-paced.
Yeah.
I found out that yesterday, since I have never, I've got
sunk
Demon
your
Souls.
teeth into a Souls games now.
Yeah, I'm reviewing Elden Ring from a perspective like a newcomer, a noob.
Mm-hmm.
What will you get from this?
Yeah.
And I must say that it just swept me off my feet, both in like the level, but also it's so far 3-4 hours in is just amazing.
Yeah.
Have you started playing it?
Yeah, I played the network test.
Yeah, the network. Okay. Yes.
I mean, I don't have access to the game right now, so I can't be playing it for review purposes, but the network test was fantastic. Yeah. And I want to say, like, you're coming at a really good title when it comes to From Software games, because, I don't know, have you played Breath of the Wild?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Breath of the Wild, I don't know if you liked it, but the sense of, like, roaming the world, the exploration, the freedom to kind of explore things as you will. Mm-hmm. What's really nice about Elden Ring is it's not restricted by stamina when you're exploring the world. All previous FromSoft titles, aside I think from, I don't know actually, I'm trying to recall if Sekiro was like that, but regardless, you were limited by stamina. You could only go so far before you had to replenish your stamina bar so you could go even further. So Elden Ring is just like, go as you please. The only time stamina unlocks is when you're in a fight. Yeah. And then you have to worry about it. So it gives you that sense of like free roaming.
Yeah.
For me, this is a completely new world. It's kind of, if you look at...
Well, it's a new world for everybody.
Yeah. But I mean, all the sort of like systems, all the systems that work here, the RPG systems, the mechanics, with the, runes and everything. I'm not going to say anything here, but it's just so much things that are at work here.
Yeah.
That's... If you play Skyrim or Oblivion or Mass Effect or whatever, you have a certain amount of mechanics.
Yeah.
How, equipment work, how you level, magic, etc., etc. This is a completely new, different story.
Yeah.
And I was playing yesterday, and I got to this sort of like camp, and I tried to take the enemies, and I died, 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 and I died. Probably
1.5 hours, right?
Yeah, of dying. So it's, I don't know if it's up close to 100 times.
Yeah.
But I've got it on video. Yeah. But the thing is, I understand why you feel that euphoria when you do it.
Yeah.
I understand
when you actually make it.
Yeah, now I understand what the thing is.
Yeah.
Of just playing that sort of like scene.
Yeah.
Over and over again. Mm-hmm. Even though that's for you or for someone else, that's probably a super easy thing to do. But the thing for me, I've been talking to Thomas about this and our viewers many times. I'm the kind of player that play Overwatch, and I play offensive with the tank. I take Diva and I just run in there and just try to shoot as much as possible.
And then you die.
Yeah, over and over and over again.
Yeah.
But eventually I get there as a aggressive player.
Yeah.
But
you can't do that.
No, I might have a character that's super buffed, so I don't have to dodge or parry or anything. Yeah. But in this game, I have to learn. Yeah. I have to get good.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I will die over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Yeah, since this is your first game, you're going to find a lot of those like challenges. Like this game doesn't hold your hand. It doesn't tell you how to play it.
No.
And so there's a lot of like a huge learning curve. Like if there's ever a barrier to enter a game, this is it.
Yeah.
I feel like, because it's like, okay, what am I doing wrong? And if you're someone who doesn't look at like how they're playing and sort of analyze like what's going on and try and like attempt something else, you probably are going to be one of those people that play the Souls game and then give them up because it's like, this is too hard, this is too annoying, I'm getting upset, I'm putting this down. But if you don't take, and of course there will be some annoying parts of these games for you and frustrating moments, if you don't take the time to think about like, okay, how do I approach this differently? What am I doing wrong? Is it my stats? Is it my armor? What's holding me back? Do I understand how my weapon works? Like, what's my R1 look like? What's my R2 look like? What's, two-handed versus one-handed? Like, am I able to kind of like defeat the odds with what I have equipped? And if you're not like thinking about all of that, then you're probably just going to die over and over and over and over and get really upset. But the nice thing is that there's different play styles. So like you said, you like offensive stuff in like Overwatch. You will be able to make offensive builds once you start to understand the game that work for you. That's like run in, clear, like do as much damage as possible. And you can also do very defensive builds. So it's really just a personal choice.
That's like the quality dex and strength builds, right? You can do different sort of setups, etc.
Yeah. I'm not, as I've not gotten a review code just yet. I'm hoping to get it today, so at least,
please.
Yes, I
hope it works out for
least
you.
have some time with it.
Yeah,
yeah. So the classes of the game, are they like a starter class, as in like in the other Souls games, or are they more fixed?
Do you know the classes there?
Right, because I played the network test, so we actually had pre-builds and we were able to just like choose something that was already made and just dive into the game. I haven't played the actual release and what it looks like, but from when I watched an event over the weekend, it looks like it's the same kind of structure as older, Souls games, where you have classes that dictate like what your general stat outfit looks like.
Yeah.
But you can still build how you want. When you play the game, you just have different varying stat numbers when you start. So like whether it's like dex or strength or,
Yeah. I was hoping that would change with this game. I was hoping that there was like a fixed class. I know that they didn't do it for obvious reasons, but just to change up the formula just a little bit.
I can't say too much because we have embargo, but there are different classes.
Yes, but as I said, there are.
I mean, if you want something like that, you'd probably play Sekiro. Yeah. Sekiro is this like one character limitations. You're not putting stats like that kind of stuff. You're just tweaking abilities and skills. That's the game that you probably would play if you wanted to get into a From Software title.
Yeah,
I believe, like we talked this morning, that this is most probably a huge contender to Game of the Year.
Yeah,
this is such a beautiful game, and I'm so happy to find this series through this game.
Yeah,
because I think this can be what Tales of Arise was for the Tales series. They sold like something like 24 million copies of 17 games.
Yeah,
before in the whole series.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yes,
and now they released Tales of Arise, and a lot of people found the series.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we've seen a lot of examples of that lately, and I think
Resident Evil 2 Remake is a good one.
Yeah. Exactly.
Where like people hadn't played the Resident Evil series, and then Resident Evil 2 Remake took everyone by storm.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think this might be the first sort of... It's super difficult, super tricky, super hard, but it's something that's more Breath of the Wild.
It's something it has a more of a mass appeal.
I think so.
Just by the looks of it, also.
So I think this is wow.
It's I can't guess, but I would guess that this, well, maybe in the same ballpark as Cyberpunk in sales. I think so.
You think in the same ballpark as GTA 5?
No.
160 million copies?
No. Nope.
There's always the difficulty levels of this game that will kind of deter from like having a mass blanket gamer appeal. But I feel like in terms of, excitement, probably parallels Cyberpunk. Though I will say like whether Cyberpunk ended up meeting those kind of expectations is a different story. But people have been holding their breaths for this game. They thought Sekiro was going to be that, but I think Sekiro was From Software's way of testing out new gameplay that they were like, okay, let's try it with this game, a little bit different. And then how do we bring those elements into Elden Ring later? Because I feel like this title is going to encompass so many different elements of the Souls games and Sekiro, and then weave them into one. And from what I've seen, it does that.
Do you think
it might be like the best?
Sorry, yes. Do you think that the gameplay loop caters to something like more, how to put it? Like you can grind, like to a certain degree that makes the game easier. In the past Souls games, of course you can do that, but the game in itself doesn't cater to that type of gameplay, right?
I think when it comes to like grinding and sort of wanting to level up yourself as much as possible, the nice options about this game is it allows you for travel between the different points. It allows you to put markers on the map, which is the first time a Souls game has ever done that. Like we're never been able to like pinpoint what we want to explore next or return to. And the fact that we have like no stamina bar when we're exploring the world and we have a horse that we can like ride around just makes it more accessible to get to any one of these destinations.
Yeah, and faster,
to do
right?
your quote unquote grinding, which makes it less of a chore overall. Still a bit of a chore, but yeah.
I can say one thing, and that's the feeling is like this. You're going on your mount and you see, wow, that looks cool.
Yeah.
That's the feeling you constantly get. Wow, that looks cool. That looks cool.
Yeah.
There's no holding hands, like you said.
Yeah, there's no actually the thing that with open world games that we could use to the past 5 or 10 years. It's just
quest points
everywhere, and there's nothing here. Well, it's something, but it's not like go there.
I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah, but
because
I know this.
Bengt will that's my head off.
that's not the
You have good restraint.
No. Yeah, it's super interesting, and I was kind of like feeling, man, why don't you have like difficulties? I'm the president of Easy Mode Game Club, so I like games. I like to play games on easy mode because it lets me.
I know, but this is sacrosanct for the Souls community.
I enjoy these hard games, right?
Yeah.
But I really honestly believe, not just for those who appreciate like a casual mode of games so they can just kind of experience it and not so much like suffer from it, but accessibility features in games. Like they're so important for all types of gamers to be able to feel like they can play a game and it's made for them and their unique like kind of accessibility options.
Yeah.
And it's always a shame when I think about the Souls games that they will never have that, because I think it takes away from like the appeal of them.
Yeah.
It's just one of those situations where it is what it is. It's just, it feels like it's never going to sort of cater to that, which is kind of sad, but it would be nice if it did.
But this game, after a while I started thinking, nah, this is good. I don't need easy, because it made me work for it.
Yes.
It made me, put my effort in and not being sloppy.
Yeah.
Instead of running in and just trying to hack and slash these guys, I have to start think and be smart about it and have a
what am I
strategy.
walking myself into right now?
Yeah. So I've been playing it kind of sneak style, stealth.
Yeah.
And that works.
Yeah.
Rather than just to level up and become more powerful so I can beat that bastard that I'm, fronting now.
Thank you, Sekiro, for that. Stealth options were definitely not a thing in the past.
It's so cool.
Yeah. What do you think of the graphics so far? Is it like
incredible?
You think?
I think, I've only played it on the console, so I can't wait to see what the PC capabilities will be, because I did the network test on the PS5.
Yeah.
I haven't like put so much time into like just kind of looking at every element and seeing how I feel about it visually compared to other games, but the landscape, the scenery itself is so breathtaking. Just like what you can see, like, like what's there, what's here, the tree in the distance, the fact that they have like a schedule, like a time where you sit down at the site of grace, you can have daytime or nighttime and you can see what the world looks like in those different like conditions. That's really cool as well. I think if I remember correctly, in the network test there was even like weather conditions, maybe like a bit of mistiness that you might get. I don't recall. I think I might remember something like that, but I could be wrong. It was interesting.
To me, if I'm just gonna take a bit of complaint, it feels like a PS4 game. Is that
you
like too harsh? Yeah. Like it's not complex. For instance, I'm playing Forbidden West now. Or Horizon. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is a a technical masterpiece, and it can't be compared to.
Yeah, but
Elden Ring can't compare to it.
Do you know what?
I can.
Sorry.
Yeah.
No, sorry. I can kind of agree with that because I don't think when FromSoftware designs these games, they're going for like the best top-notch like graphics at their time, or even trying to set a new scale. I think they're just trying to provide an immersive world where the person who inserts themselves in the shoes of the player will feel like they're drawn into it. The lore, the world building, the level design, just all kinds of speaks for itself. And you're right, it's no Forbidden West. But I think if anything, FromSoftware designs worlds very beautifully, so that you're not really thinking about like, oh, is this like the highest like capability of graphics we can get out of these games?
It's very aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah, but I have to put it like this. Elden Ring doesn't have to be the best looking game in the world.
No.
It's still Elden Ring and a FromSoftware game.
Yeah.
Horizon Forbidden West has to be 100% the best looking game there is.
Yeah, it kind of does, yeah.
Yeah, because if they didn't have like the oh my god next generation graphics, it wouldn't be Horizon Forbidden West.
No.
Even if it's a fantastic gameplay, and even if it's the best story, whatever, it would be nothing without the next generation graphics.
It has to be a flagship.
Yeah, because
they set the bar with the first game as well, like so high. Like I remember people were buying 4K TVs and making sure that they got the Pro version of the PlayStation 4 so they can experience it in 4K.
Yeah,
which was a huge selling point for that.
Yeah,
game.
it's an install base issue.
Yeah, so I mean, even if you're not gonna, I mean, most people, let's be frank about this. Most people buy games and they play 20% of them.
Yeah.
15%, maybe, I don't know, 20%, 30% will complete the game, Horizon. But they will still have a fantastic time because this is a technical masterpiece, a technical demo to show. It was like Gladiator was to show how a home cinema system works.
Yeah.
With the sound and everything.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is the same thing. I'm not saying it's a bad game gameplay wise or anything. It's just that it needs to be the looks.
Yeah,
it needs to be 100%.
Absolutely. So bringing it back to the Souls theme, I remember just going back to graphics. Bloodborne was very impressive when it came out the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, just in graphical terms, but that is of course an entirely different game. It's more like it's not an open world game. So I think that's a technical issue, technical hurdle that you have to conquer, perhaps when it's a huge world also. So but Bloodborne was very, very pretty when it came out.
I think it's funny when you look at it because like the FromSoft games, like you said, they're not trying to set the bar for like character models or visuals or anything like that. I think they do atmosphere very well.
Yeah.
Like you can come into this world and go, oh my god, I feel like I'm in it. It's giving me goosebumps from just like how I feel so involved with it. But if you look at them, they're actually really janky. Like you look at the details of like Bloodborne or Dark Souls and the textures are not the best, you know what I mean? Even in Dark Souls, since I speedrun it so much, like the way the feet move when you're running is so broken. You like look at it and you focus on it and you just start laughing because how odd and awkward it looks. But generally you're not looking at it at the first time that you're kind of like running around the world. You're too busy with everything else.
Yeah.
They don't want you to look at the smaller details of things that they haven't perfected. But like Horizon, it's like, oh my god, I need to stop here. I need to look at this like patch of snow right here because that part looks like really beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, you want to focus on the details.
Yeah.
I have to say, after playing it 3-4 hours, there's only one thing I can complain about.
Oh yeah.
And it's not about the graphics.
No.
It's something I can live with.
Yeah.
It's definitely, but it's
What is it?
okay. It's regarding the smartness of some of the enemies.
Oh, the AI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
you said that on the bus today.
Yeah, but it's super small thing.
Yeah.
That we're gonna take in our video about it. It's nothing game breaking or anything. It's just something I thought about. But apart from that, this is, you hear when I talk about it that it's a new world for me.
Yeah.
Someone that played the Souls series will probably front this another way.
Yeah.
But I'm just, my legs were blown away. because it's masterpiece.
Yeah.
I think my only issues with Elden Ring, and I can't even say that this is an issue with the game because I only played so little of it, was I couldn't get used to the combat on the horse torrents.
It's a bit wonky,
I felt like it was
right?
a bit janky.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I can't tell whether it's I still need to kind of get used to it and understand my horse more and the dynamic of the movement and how to utilize it best in combat or out of combat. I still felt like it was not what I'm accustomed to.
Yeah.
Maybe it didn't feel very fluid to me for some reason or another. So I can't say or fault the game for anything. It could just been the lack of time I had to explore it, but that would be my only issue.
You have to time the
Yeah, I think the thing with the game is that you have to be in 100% control all the time to be able to dodge and jump and parry, etc. On the horse, it's in some ways to try to, play, it's like driving a tanker sometimes because the horse doesn't, instantly turn like you would do if you're on the ground.
Or real horses in real life probably won't turn as flexible as you would want them to.
Exactly. So I mean, it's kind of clunky, but I believe I usually unmount and try to beat the guys up.
Yeah.
But,
you haven't done the whole rounds of okay, they pass you by and you turn around and they turn around to you and you're about to go at each other and have jousting.
Yeah,
with the other enemy.
I've been in scenes like that. But I usually unmount the horse and try to run around him. Talk a bit about SpeedSouls. What is SpeedSouls?
Okay. A group of passionate people that love the Souls games so much that they wanted to start to speedrun them. And for anyone that's not familiar with speedrunning, it's about finishing a game as fast as possible as per set rules of a community. That could look involving glitches or without glitches. That depends on the types of speedruns that people enjoy. That could be 100% completion or any percent, which is finding the fastest way from the start of the game to the end of the game and doing whatever it takes to do that.
Whatever means.
Yeah,
necessary.
Exactly. Whatever means that you can employ. And you can do that with glitchless and without. That's up to you, which kind of constraints of the category that you want to apply. And so SpeedSouls was just the community I came across as I got invested into the Souls games because, they're just avid about, playing these games as much as possible, so much that they take them to a next level and they start to complete them as fast as possible. I came across them that way and just playing Souls games, I met some of the community members and then I discovered speedrunning for the first time. I mean, I was always familiar with it, but for someone who is an outsider, I'm like, speedrunning? Why would anyone do that? That's playing the game wrong. You should be just enjoying it. Why are you trying to break it and play it as fast as possible? That was, I'm sure a lot of people think that way. That was kind of my misconception from the outside.
You started slow and easy.
Yeah.
By choosing the Souls games.
There's a lot of people who will go out there and call you cheaters and you're playing it wrong. And there's a lot of people with their own prejudice about speedrunning, but they don't seem to understand what it really is. Speedrunning is a set of imposed challenges on yourself. And that's it. It doesn't take away from enjoying the game. In fact, it adds to enjoying the game for many people. It extends a game let's say for me, Dark Souls 1, so much more. Because some people do challenge runs. They go new game +1, new game +2, and they keep going. Or they put I'm going to try this class. I'm not going to be able to roll or things like that. People set their own challenges. What's so wrong with speedrunners following a set of rules and, trying out glitches, which are not easy to do, by the way.
Yeah.
Very hard. And then playing the game differently. Yeah. And so, I used to watch a friend who started speedrunning Dark Souls 1 for the first time. And at first I thought I wouldn't enjoy it, but then I saw what he was doing and I was like, oh my God, he's making the game look really easy, even though I know it's not. And I was just really into the fact of trivializing a hard game like Dark Souls and what would that be like? And so I was really fascinated by the concept. And then I just wanted to speedrun it. And then before I knew it, I was in the community. We have a Discord of 6,000 members where we're constantly talking about if you need help with not casual help, but if you want to try speedrunning, you might want to learn how to do some of the skips or glitches or There's something called a dupe, which is a duplication of souls. So a lot of people will do that in their own playthroughs, where it's like, I don't want to grind. I just want to duplicate my souls like to 1 million so that I'll be able to do the outfit and build I want. And so a lot of casual players will actually learn how to do that themselves. Speedrun tricks. And you can go there, ask them for help. They will, do what they can to help you out. You can also like be in there for like talking about discoveries, and if you set any new like personal bests or records, there's community inside it for each one of the games: Dark Souls 1, Demon Souls, Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3, and Bloodborne. And then with time, as just being part of the community and running the game, I found myself brought on as staff, and I started running their social media page, which we have a Twitter. It's called Souls Run. And we talk about like all the updates of like, what's happening with these games, like if there's new speed runs, if there's any new information, if we're having any tournaments or things like that. And I was also part of a separate faction of SpeedSouls that runs something called the SpeedSouls Charity Marathon. And the SpeedSouls Charity Marathon is an annual charity marathon for Save the Children, where we get together to have 3 days of back-to-back like Souls speedrun content. There's also other games. It's not the only games that are done. So a lot like GDQ formats or ESA formats. But primarily the appeal is the Souls games. And we try and raise money for Save the Children. And I was part of that team and effort for organizing these events. I've been on it for like the last 2 years, or is it 3? I can't even remember at this point. And so I just found myself getting more and more involved with this SpeedSouls community, because they're just a bunch of great people that just love these games and have a passion to do good, as per our like charity marathons for Save the Children. Like last year, I believe we raised like $17,000 as a whole, $17,000 for Save the Children. And in our like many years, we've raised a lot more. We've been doing it for 5 years. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. So with Eldon Ring coming up, you can imagine this entire community is excited for a new FromSoft title, and we're all going to be like banded together to just experiencing it casually, of course, like enjoying the game. And then as soon as like that enjoyment is done, there'll be people who are probably finding exploits and glitches and what's a speedrun look like, and then all the community will be together trying to develop that.
The Souls games, when you talk about speedrun and glitches and stuff, and you say that some people, they say you shouldn't play it that way. These few people that are really, really, really into it, that they sort of like, you have to play it the traditional way. What do you think about that? If you don't play it like I played it, if I'm a super fan, if you don't play it, it's not the right way to play it.
Oh, yeah, you'll meet all this like it's an interesting cult around the Souls games. Like even when I play them casually, I would have people come in and telling me how to play it. Like you should be doing it this way, and why are you not doing that? And they're just trying to inject like their own rules of how this game is meant to be played, or how they watch someone else play it. And this is the standard of how to defeat this game, and this is how you should fight this boss. But that's kind of irritating, because I honestly am a huge advocate of Souls games can be played in any way that you want. Games can be played in any way that you want. There's no right or wrong way of playing a video game.
Exactly.
Whether you want to find like a glitch and in your first playthrough and just exploit it just so you can experience the game, and whatever you want to do, because you playing a game is you applying your own appeal of how it's to be played. So for me, I don't think that there should be any one way that plays Souls games, but I know there's a lot of people who are like fundamentally think that it's wrong to do it any other way than what they experienced, because they feel so strongly about their journey. And it's so strange, but there's almost like this really interesting quality about Souls viewers on Twitch, and I don't know if you've ever witnessed this or if you've ever hung out there enough to know, but it's like they almost want to come in and watch people play the game for the first time, to watch them suffer where they did. And if they don't suffer where they did, they will get mad at you. Like, how dare you first try this boss? I died 100 times that, and they will like throw a fit over it.
What's your experience as a woman in gaming? You chose a special genre that requires a lot of the player. What has your experience as a woman been?
As a woman on Twitch, not even just with these games, you get a lot of people try to backseat you, if you know what the terminology means. It's just like sitting in the passenger seat telling you how to drive the car, except they're telling you how to play the game. And you're like, I don't want to be told how to play the game. Like, I don't want like your tips or hints or your strategies. If I ask for it, that's fine, because like it's up to you how you can completely welcome it and open the doors for it, or you could be like, no, this is my first playthrough. I want to experience it how I would have experienced it had I been playing completely by myself in a room. So as a woman, you'll find a lot more people like wanting to come help you how to play the game. Like it's just like this bravado where it's like they come in, they're like, I will tell you how to beat this boss, or they even offer to like, you know, be part of your game through the online features to just come and help you defeat a boss. And you're like, no, I'm okay. And so what ends up happening is if you generally tell people off for that, they end up leaving, or they end up like being really rude to you. Yeah. So it's like something I've definitely experienced a lot on the platform. They do it less with, I feel like, guys. I think there will always be backseating in the Souls culture, but I feel like it's not something that my male counterparts have to deal with as much as me. There's like, I have a friend who literally tells me that it's just harder for a woman on the platform, and you kind of just have to almost accept like backseating, because
that's the way it is.
It loses you viewership if you don't.
Yeah.
Would you? How many guys versus women are there in the Souls, SpeedSouls community? I would guess.
It's primarily men.
Yeah.
I would say on staff, as far as I know, I'm trying to think of, I'm the only woman.
Yeah.
And on the SpeedSouls charity marathon, like team and organization members, there are more on that end, but not that many. I would say I'm one of the few. I mean, of course there are women, but you could tell that it's a huge difference.
Yeah.
Gaming is for everyone.
Yeah.
Yes.
We don't need gatekeeping. Yeah, just play the game and enjoy them.
Yeah.
Stop trying to control others.
Yeah. It's just weird. It's weird.
Like you would have that when you're like a kid, right? You would wear like or even just like as an adult, you would wear like a band t-shirt, like AC/DC, and someone would come up to you, like, do you know every AC/DC album? Prove it. Like, how dare you be wearing a shirt that you're not like a super fan of, you know? It's like...
But I can in some ways relate to watching someone play a game that I have spent like, you know, thousands of hours. Yeah, thousands and upon thousands of hours. And watching someone else play the game,
you're like,
and I'm just, okay, I can't watch this. I can't watch this. So I'm just get frustrated.
Imagine if you're
I would
a Souls fan.
Idiot to comment on it. Really.
Imagine if you're a Souls fan that has put 60,000 hours into that boss, and then someone comes, and you know.
Yeah, I can relate. You know, and I would guess that the SpeedSouls community is a very passionate group.
Yeah,
is it?
It's been around for a while.
Yeah,
it's the people who are part of it are just people that have been helped out by the SpeedSouls members in their own journeys, and they kind of end up giving back to it. Yeah. You know, it's like the nice thing about it is if you try and like learn a speedrun for any of these games and you're streaming it on Twitch, for example, there'll be people coming out to help you. Like, you know, like, hey, like do this and do that, and that's a tip, and you know, if you need help, I'm willing to jump on a call with you and show you how it's done, kind of thing. You know?
So what do you think the biggest difference from you know, Eldon Ring and the older games? What do you think is apart from the open world?
Is that the big difference, you think? Just the open world?
I'm trying to think about this. Like, what really are they bringing to the table? I think the movement, like you're able to jump now, which wasn't a possibility, like, and even double jump, and the horse, like that's adding like all these like new layers of gameplay elements and complexity. That's going to create for different play styles. Like, because I've seen people who navigate really well with a horse torrent in like fights, you know, and they seem comfortable doing like that, or they even like leveraging advantages they didn't have in the past. I think the verticality is very important in the new, like Elden Ring versus older Souls games, because you didn't used to be able to jump up and scale and like traverse the lands. You would have to like, oh, okay, like how do I get up there? I either need a ladder or I need to find another route around, you know? There's an enemy, I can jump, but I can't jump upwards. So there's like no verticality. You're just going horizontally, and now Elden Ring allows you to go vertically as well. So it like changes the way the combat nature is. And honestly, I think that combination with exploration, like the lands between, and the fact that you could put like quest markers is going to revolutionize this game. Because like now, as someone who like gets lost in older Souls games, even though they're beautiful level design, they're all interconnected to each other, it's easy to get lost and overwhelmed. You can
Yeah.
Like a lot like Hollow Knight
Yeah.
or Breath of the Wild, just retrace your steps.
Yeah.
And then now your playstyle is dependent on whether you like to go on foot, on horse, you want to jump around and explore things. You know?
Because the horse can double jump, right?
Yes.
Yes. So I mean, I can just imagine how much exploits this game can be subject to. Just give it a year, it will be absolutely taken apart.
Go to this rock and hammer the jump button with torrent, and you will get the glitch.
You can see that with the Breath of the Wild and all the physics that's in it. It's just taken apart. Soon as it's an open world, it can be exploited to a degree that hasn't been able to do before. There are set of rules in like a corridor type of game, and that's not the case.
I'm just so scared, and when I think about the amount of like collision maps, and stuff they have to go through. The whole level has like a collision map, and so objects have a, do you say, physicality?
Yeah.
You can touch them and walk on them, and some places you might have like holes in this mesh.
Yeah.
And I mean, just doing any open world kind of game is just insane.
Yeah. It's taken them a while though.
Yeah. Was it 2017? They presented it. They talked about it first, and then
wasn't it earlier?
2019.
It's a blur for me right now. I can't recall when they announced it, because it feels like everyone's been holding their breath for that announcement of when it's coming out, and now we're like 3 days away.
Yeah.
I can't even recall. I feel like maybe it was 2019.
When they first, now it has to be earlier.
I think it was 2017 when they said they were working on it. 2019 they officially sort of like presented it in some way, and then this summer we saw the first trailer, and then they said it was going to be released, I think, the 21st of January.
Yeah.
And then they pushed it forward.
But do you remember that leaked footage that they that was like a year before the actual or half a year?
It was
or
it was a few months before. Yeah, and people were like, I wonder if this is the actual.
Yeah, and it was. It was.
I have to say, when we saw the trailer the last summer, like 6 months ago, 7 months ago, you and me thought this looked like it looked like an old PS4 title.
Yeah.
Not the PS4 Pro. It looked kind of...
It had some sketchy parts,
Yeah, and now it looks amazing.
Yeah, it looks better, at least.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
If you go back and look at the trailer,
how was the placeholders? Has that been fixed?
Yeah.
The sound?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm really sure if you noticed when you played the closed beta test, there was a lot of placeholders and...
like you had explosions, and the explosions were like just... a flat 2D texture that was animated. So it was what you usually call a billboard.
Yeah.
So you could see the edge like in the ground like that.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, I think that's like one of the parts of like that you wanted to just test out. I think the gameplay more than anything else, which is like the building around it.
Yeah.
But I will say, like, the Souls games do have a lot of repeated sound effects from their older games, even repeated assets, repeated like enemy movements. So it's not like all new, which is like, no game is expected to build from the ground up every single time they make a new game.
No.
But for people who've played the games like me, it's kind of like comforting to know that there are similarities.
Yeah.
And
I'm guessing that's it. They don't want to step too far
away.
No.
You can't.
It's a formula that works.
Yeah.
You can't reinvent the wheel.
It's like Pokemon.
Yeah. But it's the same thing with Pokemon. The Pokemon company, they don't have to do something that's the most beautiful game you've seen in the world, because the concept is there and it sells.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with this. It's a beautiful game, and it will sell.
Yeah.
It's a working piece of art. Like if you compare it to Cyberpunk or whatever, this is finished.
Yeah.
Right. The only thing we haven't seen much of is George R.R. Martin's involvement in the game. Like, we don't know how far that goes, how good the lore is, and the storytelling with his involvement. So I can't wait for that to like be revealed in the first playthrough, and if it actually reaches new heights because of his involvement. And then the interviews are going to come out to sort of like, go into like what he did and what he took part in. That's going to be, I think, like that's stuff they haven't talked about at all. Like they name dropped him when they made the announcement. They briefly like glossed over it, but now we actually get to see the finished product. Like why did Miyazaki go for Martin to collaborate on this game with?
As I heard, Miyazaki is a huge fan of George R. Martin, and he asked him, "Would you be interested in doing this?" And apparently, he came up with the sort of like the input for Miyazaki to write, and the lore in
the
general. The overall lore. I don't think he was too involved in writing the detailed stuff. On the other hand, apparently they also had some people involved in the in Game of Thrones working on this as well. I don't know who, but I read it yesterday that some people were involved in it.
Like we just come across the mountain randomly while playing Eldon Ring or something like that, or like there's just a copy of like, what like Kojima does in his games where he puts like a real person in the game, and we just like find J.R.R. Martin just hanging out in Eldon Ring.
That would be so cool to see the mountain.
That would be sad.
No, I would love it. He's the main boss.
Right. But that's interesting, because I always found that the lore in the Souls games are pretty, what do you call it, fickle? Like a bit hard to reach or grasp, or
it's like
not
finding
obvious.
a needle in a haystack.
Yeah. Is that true, or do you find that true?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that you may miss the first time around. Like, even NPC quest lines can be hard to pursue. Just like the overall, like, okay, what the hell is happening? I don't understand, like, from start to finish. You really need to dig for it. You need to work for it to find the lore as well. From like reading item descriptions to paying attention to what NPCs tell you, like keywords that keep getting referenced it, and like in the cutscenes, everything all together, like the bosses, their items, their like souls, what that reads, and then piecing it together. But luckily you have people on the internet who do all of this like decryption for you.
Yeah.
Some of it is, a lot of it is interpretation of what they think it means, or just they piece together like, okay, I found this item, that spell, this thing, I don't know what, and they all like read this and they all talk about this faction, and this is probably what it's about. But there is one kind of like theme that runs throughout all these games. It's about a world that once had world order but no longer has it, and because there's no longer world order, things have come to ruin. There's like undead characters, people have gone mad, people have lost like all sorts of humanity. Common theme in all of the Souls games. I feel like that would probably still be relevant in Elden Ring as well. And there's going to be a lot of extrapolating, but I could tell you in the playthroughs where I focused on lore or like just reading item descriptions, I felt like I understood the world a little bit better than I would have just like, picked up things, not read them, and just kept going like, okay, it's telling me to go here next, so I'm going there next,
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I was hoping that there would be a more prominent like a part of the game that is more of a storytelling part, but I think you're right.
I wouldn't know. I would say Sekiro did that. Sekiro was more like narrative driven, easy to follow, like from start to finish you kind of knew what was happening, which is honestly like such a huge appeal of that game. I really enjoyed it. I don't know how much Elden Ring is gonna borrow from that or do something similar, but there's always a bit of elusiveness with the Souls games or FromSoftware games.
I think you're right. I think we'll...
I can tell you my experience. You start the game, and that's it.
Yeah,
you're just there,
thrown into it,
into
the deep end,
and you're like, okay,
here we go.
And that's it. And you have to figure out small tiny things. For instance, NPCs.
Yeah.
Don't talk to it once. Talk to it twice, thrice, 4 times. And then you might start piecing things together. I'm not that far into the game, but there's no holding hands.
No.
And I'm not sure what to do yet.
Yeah. I get the feeling that they will keep that narrative as they did in the past.
It's always
Souls
been
game.
the appeal, and lets people make content around it to sort of piece it together.
Yeah.
But even just for me, as like someone who struggled to like understand the story, overarching story, I played Sekiro. And I don't know anything about mythology or folklore. Like I never had any interest in this growing up. I never was taught it, like Egyptian, Greek, you name it. I played Sekiro and I was like, oh my God, like this is really cool. Like the mythology, the yokai, like all the demons from Japanese folklore, the religion and all of that kind of stuff, with all these like elements at play. And so what ended up happening is I was speaking to a friend, and we both were like talking about this game so much and what kind of themes they borrowed from like Japanese culture and tradition and inserted into the game, that we just ended up doing like this one-off podcast, me and him, where we just like explored what the things were in the game and what they could possibly mean. I did so much research about like Japanese folklore and tradition and religion, like Shintoism, Buddhism, everything. And it was so much fun. Like, I don't know, I just had so much fun. I had a reason to like, almost like what I was doing in college, like pulling up like so many sources and trying to put information together and try to make like a literary analysis of like what it could possibly mean. And I don't know, I just enjoyed it. I thought it was really cool. And I think that I know nothing about Norse mythology, and I'm really excited to just see what Elden Ring brings to the table and teaches me about Norse mythology.
Thinking here, you've been a voice actor? Tell us more.
So I've done one role in a game called Rune 2. I was like submitting auditions. Yes. I played a few like side characters in that game, like, you know, just like NPCs. They would walk around the world, like a blacksmith, for example. And it was one of my like first forays into voice acting. A lot of people over the years, and this is like the ironic part about it, is I've always been self-conscious about my voice. I never really liked it. Come streaming, and a lot of people are like, you have such a nice voice and cadence. It's so pleasant to like listen to you. And I did some games where like, you know, there's no voice acting at all. It's all just lines, and you just start to read it, and people are like, oh, you could be a good voice actor. And then one thing led after another, and people were like pushing me to do it. Then I submitted some auditions. I got a role, and then I don't know, got that role, kind of felt like, okay, I could do this. And so ever since then, I've just been like submitting auditions and just trying to like insert myself in the game when I can and where I can. And it's fun. It's nice. Like to think that you could be part of a video game and your voice can be in it. I actually had the most surreal moment. I think I posted something about this on like TikTok a long time ago. I don't really do content on TikTok, but I was just streaming. It was just a regular day, and I was just like on this just chatting section on Twitch, and someone comes in and they're like, are you the voice actor, like this character from this game? And I was like, I couldn't believe it. Like someone actually recognized my voice to that extent that they were like completely new to my channel, didn't know who I was, and then were able to pick out my voice in the game they played. And it was like mind blowing. It's just, so I don't know.
Yeah.
What other games do you play, and what games are you looking forward to apart from Elden Ring? I'm sure there must be some other games.
Horizon Forbidden West.
Yeah.
I platinumed that game twice when it came out. I can't wait to play it. It just, this month has been a whirlwind. Other games I'm really looking forward to would be like Kirby, the new Kirby game coming out for Switch. The apocalyptic nature of that game. I'm forgetting the full title of it right now, but I know people will know what I'm talking about. This year, I don't know how it's gonna work, but the new Bethesda title, the new IP,
Starfield.
Is it Starfield?
Yeah.
Starfield.
Oh
I'm curious because I like Mass Effect and I like sci-fi, so it's like, how will Starfield be?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm curious. I hope it pans out well.
It will be. They said it will be NASA punk.
NASA.
NASA punk.
NASA punk.
NASA punk. Because it will be some sort of like tied into real technology, and you know, it's in the year 2,335 or something, but I don't think it will feel too, out there.
I've lost all respect for Bethesda. Really.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah. I'm super stoked about it.
Yeah, I really, really hope that they can bring this together. Because
Well,
if they
about,
don't,
like,
they
it's
are
software.
done. If they
Its
don't,
software is great with their like Doom games and whatnot. There are publishers under Bethesda that still produce some really quality
yeah,
stuff.
but this is in-house.
Thomas is still hurt after Fallout 76.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel that it was a letdown for so many people.
Yeah.
Yeah, but do you know why?
Yeah.
Do you know why?
I actually don't think that their flagship titles has been very good on release dates.
Do you know
since
why?
15 years.
Do you know why?
No.
They've been working on Starfield for 20 years. That's the reason. Yeah, it is. Trust me.
That's bullshit.
Okay.
No.
We'll see. I mean, like, I think the concept of it is very appealing. Whether it actually fulfills and whether they actually produce a quality game remains to be seen.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm always looking for the next Mass Effect. So for me, it's like I always kind of hold out a little glimmer of hope that it'll be something fascinating.
I also saw that Dragon Age should be released, or who knows, 2023. Late.
That's exciting.
Yeah, but it's been so delayed for
Yeah.
so long, so it's I mean,
I hope the delays are just like because they want to put more time and effort in making a quality game versus just like crunch and not having enough people on the project and stuff. We'll see.
Yeah.
I think other games I'm excited for would be. Oh, I had them off the top of my head and now I'm forgetting.
That's a difficult question. Like when
It
you
is.
asked what's your favorite games,
Yeah.
it's super hard to just throw them out there.
Yeah.
But one thing is for sure, and that's 2022 is amazing already regarding games.
Yeah.
We've got Dying Light 2, we've got Horizon, we've got Elden Ring soon, Pokemon Legends Arceus. I mean, we've got 4 amazing games already.
Yeah, February has been
Oli.
great so far. Yeah.
So many good games.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be hard for games to follow suit, like because especially with things like Elden Ring, like you said it's like probably gonna take Game of the Year.
Yeah.
It's just so early on in the year, everyone's gonna remember it all the way through.
Yeah.
Unforgettable experience. But your poster in the back reminded me of Final Fantasy VII Remake, any of the upcoming parts, or any news about Final Fantasy 16.
Oh, 16. That is gonna be amazing. Because I actually think it's gonna be, because I wasn't a really fan of the remake of Final Fantasy 7, but this is the savior. Yoshi P is the producer.
Okay.
He's the director for Final Fantasy 14 online, and so if it's anything, or at least half as good as the story in Final Fantasy 14, then this is going to be amazing.
Would you go as far to pre-book the super deluxe VIP box?
I will never.
That would cost you 15,000 kroners, and you would get access to the game 1 month before others.
Never.
You wouldn't?
No. Why?
Because you're crazy. You love the games.
No, but that's I'm not really a fan of Final Fantasy games in general. It's just
14.
Yeah, 14.
14.
Yeah.
One everyone
Yeah.
over.
You're gonna give you a tattoo where it says 14.
Yeah, I love a lot of Final Fantasy games, but that's the big kahuna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of like special editions, you have a Eldon Ring collector's
Yeah.
edition. I missed out on the pre-order for that.
Yeah, everybody did pretty
Yeah.
much. It just
We're having a huge competition for that one. And
please take part.
Yes,
Yes.
definitely.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have
Like
some
merch and
some
stuff.
merch and stuff in
Yeah.
that. But more about that tomorrow. It's Wednesday today, but Tuesday. But let's pretend it's Wednesday.
You
And-
and your days.
Yeah, tomorrow, Thursday, we're having the video out and the competition.
Yeah.
So we saw that Pure Arts figurine,
Yeah.
and it's just
Yeah. We made a video of the unboxing yesterday.
yeah,
It's fantastic.
it's hard.
I
to
was so
get.
happy.
Yeah,
I was so happy. And I'm not really a collector's item dude. I don't
No.
know. But this was fantastic. It really was.
So since you've been doing unboxing, which is your favorite unboxing you've done for like any kind of like special collector's edition?
Oh, you have to ask Matthias. He's the unboxing guy.
Yeah, I used to unbox on my own channel before, and I could probably say something like Ori Collector's Edition for the Switch. That's, you open the box like a butterfly sort of box, and it just
very pretty.
Yeah, I would probably say that one.
Yeah,
that's probably my favorite because it's got this piece of stained glass, like a church window with Ori, and you know.
Have you played those games?
No, I want to.
Yeah.
I really want to.
Oh my god,
so beautiful.
Ori, play them. The music is. After this, open YouTube and do a search for Ori soundtrack. And listen to it.
I've listened to a few pieces, and I definitely agree. It's beautiful. It moves you.
Yeah.
If you're a cat person, you love animals, you're gonna feel when you play the games. It's like, oh, they're so cute. They're so sweet.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have to play them.
Yeah.
They're super sweet.
I most definitely will.
Awesome. It's been great having you here.
Yeah.
We've had a great time, and hopefully you want to join us in the future in some other podcast.
Oh, I would absolutely love that. I honestly thought it was an honor that we were like introduced, and you wanted to have me on for the podcast for the Eldon Ring episode. So thank you so much for bringing me on for that. And yes,
you're the perfect person for it. So there's no,
I'd be more than happy to come back for future episodes if you'd love to have me. As long as, everyone's okay with this being in English. Like, I just, every time I try and speak Swedish, everyone just, like, kind of realizes I'm not Swedish. And they're like, okay, we'll speak English for you.
Yeah.
That's the difficult thing with people from abroad coming to Sweden, that all the Swedes, I think, speak English.
English.
So you never get to practice. That's what my friend said.
Yeah.
Never.
So, but it was a pleasure having you, and you're our favorite Souls Twitch streamer, if that say anything.
Well, if you ever want to come by or learn something, like any speedrun tech, I can teach you. If you ever want to just get accustomed to the games, know where to start, I would absolutely love that. Like both of you extending the offer, and anyone that's like watching this, I'm more than happy to explain how it works. And I've done commentary for runs like a GDQ for like Demon Souls that people have like loved, both inserting lore and like the technical explanations of these things. So look them up, or just come and find me, and I'll tell you.
Definitely, I'm gonna take you up on that, because
maybe you'll hassle her with the Eldon Ring, or maybe
I need help.
You can also join the SpeedSouls community.
We will.
Yeah,
I will.
You will.
Yeah, and you people have the link below in the description to join the community.
Yeah,
they need more people, because this will blow up. With Eldon Ring.
Yeah, I can't talk about it much now, but I will say there is a cool launch event happening for Eldon Ring. So if you want to follow the SpeedSouls Twitter, you'll get more information about it.
Cool.
I'm going in right after this to follow it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes.
Yeah, I will say though, love like your studio is fantastic. It always makes me want to like just come and take a look at it and just see all the little art.
You're more than welcome.
I would love to.
We had this stream, 7-hour stream in December.
Yeah.
And we're gonna do it again. I think maybe if we're lucky this summer.
Yeah.
And then winter again. Maybe do some charity work.
Yeah.
I don't know. But you have to come here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And hang out with us.
I definitely will.
All right.
Cool. All right. Thank you everyone for watching, and until next time.
Have a good one.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Bye.